Okay, family, Tasha, I'm on bear prepping. So today I got a doozy for you. I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, summer's here, starting to get hot. So if you are coming back to the channel, thank you so much for supporting me. If you're new to the channel, I hope that you enjoy the content. On this channel, we talk about prepping, end of the world stuff. We don't really get into a lot of politics, but we do talk about current events here that have to do with prepping and getting ahead of those situations. We talk about emergency preparedness, food preservation, all of that. So I hope that you enjoy yourself. Today, we're just going to talk about a topic about how to stay cool when there's no power or / no AC, right? You're in a situation where either you live somewhere where you don't have an AC, whether you're already living off grid or whether you are living on grid, but the power goes down. I'm just gonna walk you through some tips. Now, this is gonna have a variety of stuff. We're gonna talk about outside stuff, inside stuff, and just some basic tips of what you can do to mitigate how hot it is. It is getting hot. I think we finally went over and we're in the summer months where the heat is starting to rise, okay? I don't know where you guys are at, Southern California. We're definitely getting to the 90s, 100s already, and a lot of the country is seeing that already, okay? So here's your tips. Let's talk about, very quickly, let's talk about the outside. Okay, so this is people that you don't even necessarily have to you don't necessarily have to own the property, but there are things that you can do to your property or your home to help mitigate the sun, okay? And that is just basic shade, okay? If you have any projects on the horizon and you plan on putting some kind of porch in, you might want to seriously consider doing that as a wraparound porch. Homes with wraparound porches, the idea was to block the sun from those low-level rooms, which in theory, which cools the house, okay? If you're able to block that initial sunlight beaming into your home through your windows, that is a huge piece of keeping your home cool, okay? So any kind of porch, wraparound porch projects, any kind of awning projects over your windows, even if you built wood types, or if you can buy the type that are more like plastic that you can like go down, kind of like the kind that are on RVs, but you can get awnings installed over your windows to block that sun. Another thing would be maybe planting a tree or a bush or shrubbery. I don't think that's right, y'all. In front of the window, something to naturally block that sun, okay? From the outside we're talking about. Another thing that has to do with outside is you should be working in the morning hours and the evening hours, okay? And not working in the heat of the day. That's not when you should be doing your projects, okay? So that's just some tips for outside your home, okay? Now, let's talk about inside. There is all types of things you can do. A very basic one is you open windows in the morning when it's super cool to let that initial cool air in, and then when it starts to heat up, right before it starts to heat up, you shut the windows and you keep that cool air in, and then in the evenings, the same thing, you could open windows and get that airflow going again. Now be careful, because from defensive type situations, obviously don't be opening your windows and leaving your home. I'm a little wary of opening windows at night anyway. I guess if you had to do it, maybe do your upstairs ones, but even that, criminals, they see an open window. I mean, that's easy day for them, okay? You've given them access. So that's basics. Another thing you guys could do is think about your covering. So if you're opening windows in the morning, you're having some sort of covering on part of the window as well. To, again, it's a blockage for letting sunlight in, okay? A heavy thermo type covering, okay? A lot of people have blackout curtains. Those work well too, but the closer that the curtain is to the window pane, the better, okay? Otherwise, it's getting heat even in those like those blackout curtains that are on windows. There's a gap right between the window pane and said curtain, and there's a bunch of heat that's conducting in there and getting all hot and getting caught there, where if it's together, it's stopping it right there, and then it's not in the home at all, okay? So the closer to the window pane, the better. Now, you guys, I'm just gonna look at my notes just to make sure that I'm hitting everything, okay? The idea is when it's cool, you're opening those windows and you're having those shades down so that you're letting that cool breezy air in. You're letting, not only are you letting cool air in that hopefully you can trap in there later, but you're getting a natural breeze that's going through. If you're able to have, like if you have older windows that open from the top, or those doors and windows that used to have, I don't know what they're called, but those top windows that would come down, those are great because you can shut off rooms but still have that airflow going throughout the house, that breeze, okay, because it's rising and it's just very, very nice, okay? But if you don't get in the habit of doing that, and before you know it, if you waste your time, the house is hot and it's very hard to cool down the house with no power once you've already let all the heat come in and build up in the home at the heat of the day now, and it's just holding it like a sauna, okay? So the idea is to get ahead of that. All right, talked about that. Okay. All right, so let's talk about some other things you can do for off-grid. So, of course, you can buy little AC units. You can buy little fans, box fans, different various fans that do run on battery, okay? Now, what you need to do is invest in those things, get your batteries, and then see how long it will last. I ideally would save those, do all your cooling tricks to get your house as cool as possible, close it up at the heat of the day, and then maybe have those fans going, okay? Or some kind of AC unit, but you really have to figure out how you're gonna power that. If you have solar generators, then that's awesome. Figure out which solar generators can run which fans and where you would position them for the best, quality of air. But that's an option too. So battery or any kind of solar. But I get it. A lot of people don't have solar, so start looking at your options that have batteries. All right. Some other stuff is just an old-fashioned spray bottle full of some cool water that when you get hot, you can spray on yourself. The same goes for any kind of misters. So you can buy misters. You can even buy those small battery ran fans. It's like a personalized fan and a mister in one, so that, hey, you just get a moment where you're feeling overheated, you can kind of just mist yourself off. Now, what I'll tell you about your body is your extremities, so your feet, your hands, your wrist area is a very popular one, your neck, your head. Those areas, if you're able to cool them down in any way, is very, very helpful. So even a washcloth that you get wet and put on your forehead like you do when you're not feeling well, okay? Draping, a cold towel, a wet towel over your head, okay? Or around your neck, or getting your bandana wet and wearing that, okay? That's helpful. Putting just even a little piece of ice all of a sudden on your wrists will cool you down almost immediately. Maybe putting just a little bit of water. It wouldn't take much, okay? But a little bit of water and a little foot bath, and just set your feet in that foot bath. You'd be surprised how much that will cool you down, okay? Of course, again, if you still have your freezers running and you're able to keep stuff cold, of course, a cold beverage, water, you've got to stay hydrated. That's a huge piece of that, right? Because you're sweating and you're losing all that. So keeping hydrated is a huge piece. But if you are able to run, let's say off solar generator or something like that, your freezer's fridge, having those freeze pops, okay? Taking a cool bag of peas and just putting it on your face real quick. I mean, simple things like that. Getting the kids at those long, really cheap pops that you can get from the store, those ice cream pops. Just think of simple things that you could really do. Another good thing, if you have a freezer still, is getting fruit and just freezing that. A popular thing is grapes, freezing the grapes. You can put that in a drink, or you could just pop them and eat them, any kind of frozen fruit. That's a phenomenal little way to just cool yourself down very, very quickly, okay? So let's see if I hit a lot of stuff, okay? Some other tips is if you're able to, a cool shower. They do say it's pretty controversial, but they do say that if you're hot already, that taking a warm bath or a bath like that does cool you down. So I don't know. I've never tried that one personally. For me, it's a cooler shower. It's a cold shower. So think about this, even if it's grid down and you're not able to, the water's not running or whatever, you could put a little bit of water. And again, this is using your water, so just be smart, but you could just put a little bit of water in your outdoor shower, camping shower bag, and just take a quick little shower, okay? That will cool you down, and then get yourself in some shade, under a tree, something breezy, as breezy as you can be. And sometimes stepping outside, even though it's hotter outside, but sometimes stepping outside and you get the right tree to sit under with a breeze, sometimes that is gonna be, will cool you down quicker than staying in the house even, okay? Sometimes getting under a tree or getting on a porch where there's a nice breeze is going to be a better bet than sitting inside on your hot couch in the living room, okay? Let's see. I already said hydrate. I said that. Okay, so a couple other things. This is a pretty obvious one, and it's don't cook inside. Obviously, the minute you cook inside, you're heating up your house. So just try to get a plan together on, hey, on super hot days, what's your plan for cooking, right? Do you have a barbecuer that you could just, make your breakfast? Just treat it like a camping day and just start cooking outside on hot days, okay? Because the minute you turn that oven on or stove on, it gets super hot, super fast, okay? And there's a lot of things you can do. Another thing too is if you live somewhere that's really like sticky humidity, again, this only works if you have some sort of power, is humidifier. So humidifier, right, is not an AC. It's not gonna blow any air, but what it's doing is it is sucking the humidity out of the air, okay? So if you live somewhere where it gets real sticky and real humidity, you could run one, and you're able to, you could run one of those in your home to kind of suck out the humidity, which will then help with the overall picture of staying cool. Okay, so I hope this helped you. I would love to hear in the comments below. I'm very, very interested in myself. If there's any like tips, tricks, things that you and your family are doing to stay cool, because baby, we have started. It has started. These hot days are coming. Another thing too is don't forget for example, I'm a new gardener, so my plants, I'm already seeing the difference with the heat rising, that they're needing water. I'm having to change up my water game, how often I'm watering them, what time of the day I'm watering them. So just keep that in mind. Keep an eye on your plants, anything that you have outside growing that you're used to taking care of, but with temperature changes, that really changes a lot of stuff. Also, do not forget your animals and your pets, okay? They're gonna need more water. You might have to do some of these tips to keep them cool, okay? You might need to wet down your dog because they're overheating and you need to get them cool down, okay? Maybe invest in a kiddie pool, something that quickly you and your kids could just kind of sit in. Obviously, it's not for swimming, but could put your feet in, cool down a little bit, have a moment. Get your kids some fun stuff, maybe slip and slide. Get them the fun water stuff that you put outside so that they can cool down and have fun at the same time. I mean, just don't forget about the other people in your life, like, kids and the elderly that might be living with you, and all those people, and the extra things that you might need to do to take care of them as well, okay? I think that's pretty much it. Another thing is, so nighttime when you're sleeping, you could open windows, but again, be very, very careful. There's an old Egyptian trick. It started with the Egyptians with getting a bed sheet wet and putting that over your body to keep cool, or a towel over you before you go to sleep. They say don't sleep naked. A lot of people strip because they're hot. But actually, when you take off your clothes, it has like an opposite effect. So just wear nice loosey, some shorts, a tank top, nice loose clothes to sleep in, so that you can keep that, keep your sheets to, obviously not flannel, keep your sheets to a cotton type, right? A nice cool type. Get all the extra stuff off the bed, like the big comforter and all the extra pillows and stuff. Another trick too is over your windows, if you have a nice breeze, is putting a wet towel or a wet sheet over the window, okay? So you could do that as well if you're not really wanting to shut your windows, or just an extra, boost of coolness. a wet towel or a wet sheet over open windows when it's real breezy. Okay, so I hope this helped you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Looking forward to the comments below. Hey, subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you don't miss out on any new videos. Hit that bell icon too so you're notified every time. I do release videos every day though at 2 p.m. and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.